And we're live. Welcome to Corner Class 32. And in this corner class, we are going to discuss, guys, taking you behind the curtain today. We're going to show you how we made six figures in 6 months. So if you're interested in making six figures, we're in Tampa. That's more than what most people make the median income in Tampa for the year, and we did it in 6 months. So if you're interested in learning how to make that six figures in 6 months, stick around. This show is for you. Welcome back. And so, yes, in this show, we're going to discuss how we made six figures in 6 months. And we're going to get right into it, guys. But before we get into the show, if you like the content of the show, and no matter what format that you're looking at, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, whether it's YouTube, go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel. Follow if you're on one of the other mediums, so that we can continue to generate this type of content where you can actually change your lifestyle, where you can actually make money from real estate. We can continue to get this content out to you. So again, like, follow, let's get right into the show. Now, six figures to six-figure income. 6 steps to six-figure income. That's how we are going to be talking about today. That is how we, over the summer, over 6 months, generated six figures using the techniques that we have discussed right here in this corner class. So I'm going to distill those techniques into 6 steps, 6 objectives that you must meet to have the best chance of making that six figures in a very, very short amount of time. 6 steps to six-figure income. Step number 1, location. That is number 1 for a reason. You got to buy in a location where you can ultimately renovate and sell and not overprice the market in that location. Give an example. If you are buying in one of the subdivisions, let's say it's a master plan subdivision, and you intend to sell for your property, the property that you renovate for well over the median income for that subdivision, that's the wrong location for you. Okay. So if your median income in a subdivision is $300,000, and you want to sell, and there's been no homes that have sold in the last 6 months in that subdivision to the year that was much more than 300,000, 340, somewhere around there, and you're trying to sell a home renovated at 400, 500,000, that is not the right location for you. So location is primary. Another thing that you want to look at is if you buy in a location that is where you cannot sell the property. So let's say that you are buying in the hood, the deep hood. Now, I don't mind in purchasing properties in an emerging market. That's different than, you got to bring your knife, your gun, and a bulletproof vest to view the home. Those are two different situations. So emerging market, good. Okay. Dead of the hood, or in a location where you cannot sell the property, not so good. That can also be in a location where it has a lot of rentals in there, where you cannot get a good comp, or it's not known for a location where you can actually sell the home. It's a rental location. Those are also places where the location is wrong. Okay, so location key. Again, you want to find the ugliest home in the nicest neighborhood. So you really want to find that home where you can build value in. And when you're building value, what that means is that you're doing some type of renovation, some type of modification, you adding square footage so that you're adding value into the home, and then sell the home that is comparable to the home prices in that location. Location number one. Your team. Have the team ready. What is your team? Your team is your GC. Your team is your contractors. Your team is if you need other investors to partner with you on the deal. Your team is your landscaper. Your team, anyone that touches that home, that's part of your team. Even if it's the extended team, your team is also your title person. Your team is your insurance person. Your team is your legal entity if you need a lawyer for this particular deal. Your team is your real estate consultants. All those people are part of your team and part of what makes the deal work. So have that team ready. Hey, listen, guys, I'm thinking about purchasing this home. I just want to put you on alert that, I'm seriously considered purchasing the home. Are you ready? Should I purchase it in 30 days, 60 days? Yeah, man. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. We got the crew going. We're good. Or they may say, hey, listen, I'm in the middle of a job. I'm out of state. I can't do this job. Here's someone that can, or you might need to find somebody else. Might need to have your backup ready. So that team is very important, and you want to have that ready before you purchase the property. Because if you don't, you're wasting money, and you're burning through what this next point is your financing. Use other people's money. Try to leverage your money so that you can have enough down payment for multiple projects. Example, most people get into the game with no money or very little money. So they're looking at wholesaling or some type of other arrangements to where they're building money. Once you get to a point where you have a little money, I see a lot of people do this. What they do is they want to finance the entire job with their money. Now, at first glance, you say, well, okay, that's right. You are saving, all of the finance charges that you would normally have to pay for the job, or your overall cost is less. And that's true. That is true. But you also lose opportunity. There's such a thing as opportunity cost. And you're losing that opportunity. Example, you buy house number one. And let's say you have $100,000, and I'm going to make the math easy. Okay. You have $100,000 and you purchase house number one at $89,000, $80,000. And it's $10,000 to renovate that home. And then you have a $10,000 contingency fund. Okay. And you always should have a contingency fund because you never know what happens. You start opening up walls, or like now the prices of everything is going up. You want to have that little contingency fund. So you've used all of that $100,000. And what happens is that another home, and it's a 4-month job. Okay. Another home, Someone, your boy calls you up and say, hey, David, look, I got this another home, this deal that is super, super hot. All I need is we can partner with the deal, and we just need $30,000 from you. You don't have it. All your money is tied up. 2 months later or a month later, another person call you up. Oh man, I cannot believe it. This is a sweetheart deal. All I need from you, $20,000. You don't have it. Another person calls up. You've used all your money. You can't leverage that money. So instead of making $10,000 or $15,000 on just one project, you could have made maybe $10,000 across 3 or 4 projects. So that same $100,000 could have netted you almost a 50% return. But because you're not using other people's money, you're not leveraging your funds, guess what? You're locked into that deal until it sells. Now, suppose that deal doesn't sell in 4 months. Suppose something happens in the project and you're 6 months in, 7 months in, 8 months in. Your money is tied up. Use other people's money. You're going to, in the end, you're going to make more money because that opportunity cost is real. And most times, you're going to need some skin in the game, whether it's with the bank, whether it's with hard money, angel investors, whomever you get the money from. They're going to want your skin in the game. And so they're going to want you to invest some of your income. And if you have no income, if you have no savings and nothing that you can put into the deal, they're going to find the deal a lot more risky. And most likely, they're not going to want to partner with you in that deal because this is a partnership with a financial institution in most cases. They're taking a risk lending you money. They want their money back, guys. They want their money back with interest. So they're taking that risk. They're partnering with you on the deal. Most of the time, they're going to want to know a lot about that deal. If you're building new constructions, they're going to want to see the plans. If you're purchasing, they're going to want to see the purchase order. If you're renovating, they're going to want to see your renovation plans. They want to see your scope of work. They want to have an idea on a comfort level for the job. That's the financial person. On your end, you have to convince them that you can do the job. That the team that you have assembled, and that's why team is before financing. The team that you have assembled can do the job. A lot of times you're looking at your team's qualifications for the job. Example, your GC, if you need to have a GC. They're going to want to know if the GC have done that type of job before, or do you have experience? Or do someone on your team has experience doing that type of job? All those things are important to financing. So having that team ready really gets you ready to talk to a banker or talk to financing saying, hey, listen, my team has the capacity and they're willing and ready to do the job. The financing person may say, okay, well, you have your team, or can they start? When can they start? When you purchase the property, are they going to be starting day one, or, is it a month from now? Or you got to have those answers ready for them. Building the team, then financing. A lot of people put it backwards. By the way, guys, if you have any questions about anything that we're covering, don't hesitate to click in the chat button or make a comment, and we will answer those questions live, or if we do a recap show, we'll answer it then. All right, so location, your team, financing. Fourth thing, you buy the property. Now, I've said many times that you make your money in the purchase, not the sale. Make the money in the purchase, not to sell. So you got to buy at the right price. So even if you have the perfect location, you've got your team assembled, the bank is going to give you as much money as you need. If you don't buy the property right, then you're not going to be able to get that return on investment, the ROI. Most people in real estate, in renovating homes, you probably want an ROI in excess of 15-20%. Somewhere around there, you have a lot of meat on the bone. And if you don't purchase right, then now you're going to have to try to get that on the sale of the home. And as I stated in number 1, location, the property cannot be sold, or you will have difficulty selling the property over a certain value for that location. I don't care what type of improvements that you do, because at the end of the day, you have to make sure that property appraises for that location. So what an appraisal do, I'm not sure if you guys know how that works, but what an appraiser does is that he comes out and he does comps for that area. Usually it's in a quarter of a mile, half a mile. It's usually similar to the home that's just the subject property home, your home. So what they do is they say, okay, you have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, and I'm going to look at within a half a mile radius, 3 bedrooms, 2-bath homes that are similar construction. If you have a wood frame home, they're going to try to compare wood frame homes. If you have a concrete block home, they're going to try to compare your home, the subject property, to concrete block homes. Same age, that type of thing. If you have, and the same amenities. If you have no pool, then they will probably try to find homes without a pool. Or if they do have, they can't find 3 comparable homes, then they will get a home with a pool and then deduct it. So there's a little give and take, a little finesse that is done by the appraiser to come up with a value for your home. And that is the value for your home, irregardless of if, the bank is going to need that, the buyer, ultimate buyer, the end buyer is going to have an appraisal done. You probably want to have a really, really, really good idea of what that home can sell for before you purchase the home. So you want to have a good idea of what the home will sell for. You can do a comp. Now, if you're not comfortable with doing a comp, get your real estate professional who is on your team to do that for you. Get a real estate professional and say, hey, listen, we have a man in the field, Rodney. And let's say Rodney is working with you on this project. You say, Rodney, look, I'm going to fix this house up. I'm going to make it look, great. We're going to put new appliances, paint, roof, AC, whatever's needed to get done. We're going to do that. How much would this house sell should it be fixed up to that level of home? I have the new paint. I have the new roof. What can it sell for? Rodney's going to give you a number generating it. And if that number outprices the area, then you have a problem. But if you buy right, if you buy low enough, then you can have those things done to the home that will help sell the home and add value to the home. And you can still get a return on your investment in excess of, 20+%. If you are an investor worth your salt, you're looking at 25, 30, 40, 50% return. Well, 40+% return on your investment. So, number 1, location. 2, have that team ready. 3, financing. 4, buy right. Buy it at the right price. If the seller is not interested in selling the property to you at the right price, find another property. Because if you don't buy the property right, you're not going to have a return on investment. Any hiccup, if you have a skinny deal where you're looking at only a 10% or 50% ROI, and let's say the price of a part comes up, or you open up a wall and you have to deal with something that you have not budgeted for, all of your profit has been eaten up in just that one problem. Let's say you're selling the home and your buyer wants moving concessions. They want you to pay 1%, 2%, 3% of the closing costs. That comes out of your ROI. It's the total cost of the deal. And that total cost of the deal is your profit. And so you want to keep those costs down. And you can do that by buying right. So buy right is more important than selling. If you buy it right, you have that cushion, you have that room. If you luck up and sell it more than what you have anticipated on selling it, that's great. That's gravy. But if you sell it for what you think it would sell for, a fair value, and the appraisal comes in and maybe it's a little low or a little high, plus or minus, a percent or so, you're still great. You're still good because you bought it at a good price. You bought it at a price where you can make some money in. Make sure you buy right. You make your money in the buy, not to sell. Mutual accountability. This is a big one that a lot of investors overlook. Everybody is accountable for the project. What happens a lot of time is that you get in there and the contractor, you have one contractor doing one thing, you have one contractor doing something else in the project, you have a GC, and everybody pointing fingers. Everybody, I didn't, it wasn't in the scope. Everybody's accountable. And that is the biggest thing, because your team should be focused on fixing or doing the project, not just their little, piece, or if they're not directly responsible for a project or part of a project, then they wash their hands of it. It should be a team approach, and that's what you want to build to. So you may have to go through some members to get to that team approach. We just finished a job that is going to be a case study, and we had one contractor, it's not my job. This other person should have done that, and this other person said, it's not my job, but he should have done that. And there was, everyone is accountable. And when you're building your team, you want to let them know, hey, listen, we all are accountable. You're a real estate professional. They're part of your team. And so if they have something that can add value to the conversation, they should be there. They should be part of that meeting. A lot of time it's like they may say, hey, listen, guys, the hot color right now is, or I was just at a listing, and this listing sold for 10,000 over, the asking price because they did this. Or, I'm not sure why you guys are giving this much of a compensation to a buyer, because it is a seller's market and the industry is not giving compensations in that amount anymore. If you are not part of the game, if you're not part of the day-to-day transactions of a real estate professional, you may not know that. You may think that, hey, I'm supposed to give $10,000 toward closing costs. I'm supposed to do that, or I'm supposed to expect this. Everybody is accountable for the project. And that's what you really, really want to move towards, is that mutual accountability. Everybody is a team player. So important. And if they're not accountable, don't use them for the next project. It's not a good thing. Not a good thing. If your contractor is taking a lot longer to do the job, because in the scope of work, it should be a time of completion. And say they say they can do the job in 3 months. At month 6, and the job is not done, month 7, the job is not done, then they should hold something, taking some accountability. You should have addressed that well before then. Hey, listen, you're on track. Hey, listen, you're on track. Hey, on Monday, every morning, every Monday, let's talk. Every 2 weeks, let's talk. Let's find out where we are. They should, if they're not on track, it's like they should hold themselves accountable. Win, or no deal. A lot of people overlook this. It has to be a win deal. And what is a win deal? Well, everybody in the deal needs to feel like it was a good deal for them. The seller who sold you the home need to feel like they got a fair price for the home. They didn't get, taken advantage of. You didn't try to beat them out of it. It's a fair price. Now, sometimes that, I just said a couple of minutes ago that buy low, and you should buy low. But you should buy low and still make it a fair price to the seller. Example. Last year, maybe about a year and a half ago, I bought a home from a seller that she wanted to move to an assisted living facility. She had no money, and the only asset she had was her home. And the home was in was in real bad condition. But she needed X amount for the move. Now, I did my comps, I did my due diligence, and I knew that if we fixed it up and renovated it to a certain level, when we did when we sold the property will generate a reasonable return on investment. Now, I could have beat her down for a little bit more. I could have, really talked about, well, look at the house in this value. It doesn't have this, it doesn't have that. And for that reason, I'm going to give you, an amount that will not allow you to move to that assisted living facility. Let's say she needed X amount and I was going to give her $10,000 less than that. Okay. It wasn't a win for her. Now that $10,000 would still be well within, if I gave her that $10,000, it still would be well within what is fair for a return on investment. So why not make it a win for her? And that's what I did. I could have gotten the home for less, but it wouldn't have been a win for her. It wouldn't have been a win for the seller. So the seller has to win. The buyer has to win. The buyer is your ultimate end buyer. Or even if you're wholesaling, it would be the wholesaler that you're selling to. It has to be a fair deal for them. If you're trying to sell a home in an area that is too high for the area, then one, it probably wouldn't appraise. But even if it did appraise, then your buyer would have some reservations, or they feel like it's not a win for them. So when in our deals, don't try to be greedy. Just, have a fair deal for both parties. You bought the price right. You sell it at a fair price. Everybody wins. The last win is the professionals that's in the deal. There are ways where you can adjust the other professional income. Make it a win for them. If you are trying to, at the last minute, finagle or finesse or some extra type of money out of that other professional, which a lot of people do, unfortunately, in this field, that's not a win for that professional. They need to feel like that they was respected, they were not taken advantage of. A lot of times in my deals, they call me up and say, "Hey, David, look, you got anything else?" I got somebody else. All right, could you partner with me on this deal? You was fair before. I feel like I won. I feel like it was a great deal for all parties involved. Hey, let's do some business together in the future. That is win, 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 or no deal. If you are one party in the deal feel it taken advantage of, I'm talking about extreme. Really look at that deal. Is this something that you want to be part of? Is this something that maybe it's better to move along. Maybe it's better not to sell the property to that person. Maybe it's better to sell the property to someone else. And that can go the other side. A lot of times these agents on the other part of the deal, they enter into the contract with an as-is contract. An as-is contract is just like the name implies. You're buying the property as is on the time that you have visited a property, whether you did an open house or you did a private showing. You're buying the property as is with the right to inspect. You can inspect the property that is you want to buy, but you're buying the property as is. What happens is that they inspect the property and come back with this laundry list of things that they want you to do. Well, there's another contract that is not an as-is contract that you should have used if you wanted to have repairs done. And the contract is not as strong for the buyer. So what a lot of people do is they do the as is and come back with these crazy demands. That's not a win for me. That's not a win for the investor. So it works both ways. All parties in the deal should feel like that they won. It was a fair deal for all parties. And when you have those fair deals for all parties, you have a win-win-win deal. If you don't, and if it's extreme, consider not doing the deal. Now, case study. We're coming up with a free ebook, 6 steps to 6 figures, and we're going to have in there case studies of the 2 projects that we did to generate over 6 figures in 6 months. And to be a part or get that free ebook, just text ebook. Well, we'll put it at the end of the show. But you text a special code, you learn how to get this free ebook, and it will cover in detail each one of the steps that we talked about today, with that free book that gives you even more of how that case study. With receipts, guys, I'm going to show you guys exactly how much we made off of these 2 projects. We're going to give you the time frame to show that it was well within 6 months. And there you have it. You're going to have your blueprint that you can follow for free, 6 steps to 6 figures. All right, guys, I want to thank you for joining us for the show. And if there is anything that we can do to help you with your projects, or even if you just want advice, feel free to contact us, Corner Class Tampa. You can go to any one of our social media pages. You can call into the shop. If you like, you can post a comment in the media that you're looking at now. So again, if there are anything that we can help you with your job, with your project, or anything that you need to do, feel free. Go ahead, and I'm going to put up a deals, a number where you can text into deals. We can help you with your deal. We can help partner with you. And don't forget, if you like this page and like content like this, like our page, follow our private Facebook group. Again, there's money out there in real estate. This is how you can easily make, 6 figures in 6 months. We've done it. You can do it. It's just a matter of getting out there. And as I always say, stay grinding.